Thanks, Oscar. So today I'm going to be telling you about the most generic advice that all startups get, but why it actually works based off of two of my previous successful startups. All right. The first one is find a problem worth solving. Startups are hard. It's a grind. You want to find a problem that you feel passionate about. So every day when you're waking up, during the many years you're working on this company, you can grind through it. The other reason is you're trying to build a business. You're trying to build $1 billion business. You ever find a problem that's worth solving that many other people also face so that you can actually build a business around this problem? At Caviar, it was a food delivery company, but we wanted to eat really good food. We were foodies ourselves, and we were like, why can't you get the best restaurants delivered? Given this was back in 2013 when DoorDash and Postmates and Caviar didn't exist. We actually all started around the same time. And so we were all working professionals in like accounting, consulting, banking, etc. We're wondering like, how come I can only order this crappy Mr. Chow's Chinese fast food on my $30 stipend every day for lunch? Why can't I get these good restaurants delivered? It turns out a ton of other people also thought this was a problem because when we launched our New York Caviar office, we got flooded with so many orders that all the founders had to fly out. Every employee staff had to go and do deliveries themselves just to satisfy and make sure all these orders are delivered properly and on time. At Welcome, my second company, is a virtual events company. The setting for this was COVID had just hit. We were all stuck inside. We were going through a ton of like conferences and web calls all the time. We're like, man, this is boring. Why are these events so boring? Like, why can't we have like great engaging software and great engaging, platforms for these events? We were, watching things off WebEx, etc. And turns out a ton of people thought this was a problem too. We actually started interviewing a ton of event industry professionals, and they're like, yeah, this software is terrible. Why don't we have better items out there? So we went out to seek and solve that problem as well. The second piece of advice is to listen to your users. This means not just talking to your users, but really picking out insights, picking out things that you hear that are common themes among many of your users. You're building this product for your users, so listen to them because they'll help you build your proper product roadmap and the features you want. So for our Caviar, we again were our users ourselves. We were foodies, we wanted really good food delivered, but we also are a three-sided marketplace. So we actually went out and talked to restaurants, and we're asking these restaurant owners like, hey, why don't you deliver your food? I distinctly remember a conversation with Danny Bowen, who's the owner of Mission Chinese Food, and he was like, man, if I put my restaurant on Seamless, that just tarnishes my brand. Do I want to be on this website with like Mr. Chow's Chinese fast food? No, I don't. And the couriers there, they don't care about the food. They'll arrive an hour late. It's cold. It's terrible. It's a terrible experience. So then we went out and sought to build a premium branded food delivery service so that all the restaurants on there are good food, and they would be proud to be on there, and all of our couriers would actually care about the food, arrive on time, have thermal bags, make sure it's delivered in a proper way to properly represent these restaurants. And for Welcome, we actually went out and talked to hundreds and hundreds of users. We didn't even just focus on conference event planners. We talked to them. We also talked to sound guys. We talked to audio visual companies. We talked to sponsor companies, people that sponsor these events. And we really used that to build our product roadmap and kept iterating to ensure that we were building exactly what the users wanted. Two of my co-founders were also event planners themselves. And, they used to plan these events. They were like, man, for everything to go off without a hitch, for it to feel smooth, like all these different things need to happen. So we really were talking to our users, hundreds of conversations, taking notes to make sure we're building exactly what they want. All right. 3 is to optimize for speed. As a startup, you're small. Your only advantage is your speed. A large company like Cisco WebEx could have built what we built at Welcome, or Seamless Grubhub could have built a premium branded version of their company, but they're actually really inundated with bureaucracy, so they're slow. They're not able to quickly iterate. As a small startup, you're able to be nimble and really go for speed to test your product, make sure it works, and then keep scaling from there. So for Caviar, we did things that didn't scale. Our first dispatch system was so primitive that it was a website. Every courier could see every order coming in, and we just told them, don't assign anything, don't touch it. And we would have to manually assign thousands of orders every day. It was definitely a grind. I remember going to Mission Chinese Food, our most popular restaurant in New York City, after lunch, and I would actually manually dispatch orders there and batch them. I would actually look at a Google map of where every order is going and grab like 3 orders and be like, here, courier, go take these together. Because we didn't have a batching system. We didn't have auto dispatch. We just knew people wanted this, so we optimized for speed and got it delivered. I even had couriers coming to the restaurant to interview, train, and then go out for deliveries at the same session. I was like, all right, we're good, go. So, really optimized for speed, but we were able to deliver a great product. People loved it, and so we were able to grow quickly. At Welcome, how we optimized for speed was we knew it would take months to build a very complicated, audio and visual web conferencing system. So we faked it. We built a Figma of what it would look like in a prototype, and we went to all these hundreds of calls, interviews with users, and we just faked it. We were just like, oh yeah, this is the product, and we're just going through the Figma. They would know it's not the real product, and we would take their feedback and then change the Figma and then just keep iterating till we finally got to a point where people were like, wow, that's amazing. How can I buy that? I'd pay $20,000 to use that for my event. And it was like, okay, now let's start building, let's start coding. So you got to optimize for speed, but it helps you iterate and learn faster than if you were to take a couple of months, build the product, nobody likes it, then we got to change it, etc.